A few weeks ago, we spoke about Tasmania, but guess what? Tasmania has slowly started pumping up and it's slowly getting traffic driven from Melbourne. Today, we're going to talk about Tasmania and what's going on. I'm your host, Tony Shah, and thanks for joining me on another episode of The Mortgage Chat. So today I have Big Sean with me from PropSpotter. So Big Sean, thanks for joining me in another episode.
Pleasure is mine.
Mate, so a few months ago, we done an episode about Tassie. We spoke briefly about it, but we didn't talk too much about it because, you know, that was your hotspot and you've been sending a lot of your clients there. Or a lot of my clients there as well, right? So I think last month you closed about 8-9 deals?
8-9 deals. I think three of them were in Tasmania.
Yep.
Or within Hobart.
Yep. And just for our new audience that don't know what you do, you're not a buyer's agent, are you?
No, we're not. We're a property research house. Mm-hmm. So we help clients find the best suburb and hold their hand through the process, but we do not negotiate on their behalf or carry out due diligence on their behalf.
Yep.
We're kind of like that buddy you never knew you needed.
Yep. So essentially, a buyer's agent would do the whole thing for you. Okay, they'll recommend you the area, they'll do the negotiation, etc., etc., etc. But what Sean does is you just do the research.
We do the research. Yep. We give a brief to the client about what suburb fits their criteria, and then we send them listings. We've got a bot that essentially scrapes the entire internet looking for new listings. And as soon as we know, we send it through to our clients. Mm-hmm. That means our clients essentially get early access or very quick access to the markets.
Yep.
And are normally the first to call the agents.
Yep.
Which in a hot market, Tony, you'd argue is pretty beneficial.
Yep. So that's why you're a bit more cheaper than a buyer's agent, right?
Correct, yeah. We're about a quarter of the price of buyer's agents.
Some buyer's agents are actually pumping up the fees to around 20-25 grand. I actually know one buyer's agent that pumped their fees up to 35 Gs. So there you have it, brother. 35 Gs.
35
right?
Gs.
And it's a bit good. And it's very interesting how you got that new concept and you created a bot where it scrapes the property, right? So, so I assume this bot, every half an hour, every
half an hour.
Yep.
On the clock. It's scraping every new real estate listing across the country on all the major real estate platforms, seeing which clients of ours fit that criteria or are looking at that particular suburb, and then simply notifies the client that, hey, a new property has been listed.
By email or via text?
Via WhatsApp currently.
Oh, really? Oh, okay.
Yeah, so you get it real time on your mobile phone.
So
the main problem this arose from, Tony, was that real estate has their own notification.
Yeah,
right?
correct.
People will say, no,
correct.
Real estate can tell me when a property is listed. Now, real estate only does this once a day at 6 p.m. So you may notice why on the trip home from work or somewhere else, you're just getting a notification about properties being listed.
Yep.
Those properties may have actually been there since 8 a.m. that morning.
They
may even have been there since 7 p.m. the night before.
Mate, especially this hot market.
Every hour counts, probably even every minute at this point.
I know. Right. I reckon, so quick example, we had a client that purchased in Corio.
Yes.
Corio.
In Geelong. Yeah.
In Geelong, right? First day, they had 30 offers. First day it was listed, right? Now, he didn't see the listing till 6:30 when he got back home because he only started looking at realestate.com when he got back home after work. But if you had that notification, mate, he would have been there straight away.
Yeah.
Right?
I mean, and you had another client, I think a shared client of ours that purchased in Belmont, also in Geelong.
Yes.
And that shared client got the notification, was the first to call the agent, and they locked that property, did their building and pest inspection, had their, I think, full unconditional approval maybe even by the time they placed their offer.
Yeah.
And that end-to-end process was 48 hours from the time the property went live on realestate.com.au to getting the building and pest done, getting everything locked and loaded, and having the confidence to put a strong offer forward in 48 hours.
I mean, that's how hot the market is right now, eh?
Yeah.
That's
what PropSpotter is all about, right? We're not here to help you buy the property or sell you some dream story. We want you to come along on the journey, and we're that buddy there to help you along that journey and give you all the information you need to make a quick, strong, and educated decision.
Fantastic. All right, so now, mate, let's talk about Tassie.
Tassie.
So the last episode that we spoke about in Tassie, when you were here, we didn't get into details with that particular suburb or location, whatever, for whatever reason it is, right? Because they were for your clients, okay? But now we're seeing a lot more traction in Tassie, right? We're seeing a lot more of our investor clients diversing from Melbourne, Perth, or Queensland, slowly going down to Tassie.
Yeah, that's right.
I love Tassie as well. Okay, now
You been?
I haven't been yet.
You've got to
but
go.
But I love the look of Tassie right now.
Yeah.
Okay. I thought it was very important that you come and have a chat today because you recently came back from Tassie,
That's right.
right? So you actually went to the location and had a look at it yourself before you even recommended these to all your clients.
Sure
right?
did.
So you're walking the talk, mate. You're walking the talk. So tell me, first of all, how is Tassie? How is it anyway? So location-wise, like I'm not talking about stats or whatever.
Yeah,
We'll drill down that later. I just want to know about Tassie.
Tasmania is beautiful. Hobart specifically, because that's where I've been, right?
Yeah.
So I went to Hobart 10 years ago because I bought a car there, and I bought that car back then, and I drove it back. And back then, I felt like it was a bit of a mini Switzerland. I'd been to Switzerland 1 or 2 times prior. Really enjoyed it. Only spent a day in Hobart back in 2015, and said to myself, I'm going to go back here. The opportunity arose, a month ago, and so made the decision, flew down there on a Wednesday morning, landed at 8:30, picked up the rental car, and man, was I amazed. Just pure water views, mountain views, driving to the city. The roads were great. The traffic there was no such thing as a peak hour. I think I got caught in a traffic light for about 5 minutes. But beyond that, there was absolutely nothing. The people there are spectacular. Everyone's laid back. There isn't much of that rat race vibe that you get here in Sydney and Melbourne.
But it's not a dead town.
But it's definitely not a dead town.
Yeah, okay.
I mean, there's, food prices were a bit expensive, but maybe that was just me.
Yeah.
But there's also a very diverse economy there. There's diverse groups of people. There were local Australians. There were migrants from all parts of the world. There were universities there. They had students. I think the overall population is like 280,000 people in Hobart.
And it will just get busier because I do know some large corporations from Melbourne, especially Melbourne base, they are slowly want to divert to relocating their base down to Tassie as well in Hobart. I think, what's that big company called? Is it Insignia?
Yeah, I'm not sure if it's Insignia, but I know that, for example, I've got a guy I used to work with here in Sydney who got a job with a small superannuation firm called Spirit Super, doing compliance work. He's been down in Tasmania for the last 2.5 years working there, and they've got a small office there. Saying like 50 to 100 people. But there are businesses there in many different sectors. Beyond just your standard real estate and tourism that are thriving in Tassie.
Yeah, sure. So now let's get into some data now. Okay, I'm going to spit out what I've been seeing, what my clients have been buying, and I think maybe you can, stamp that approval, right? So what I'm seeing is the rental yields are still quite good down there, right? Anywhere from 4.5 to 5.5. From what I'm seeing. That's
exactly right. I mean, it depends on the sort of suburb, the location, the type of property you want to get in. But for example, a suburb like Risdon Vale, which we've spoken about before on this show, you'd be able to get a 5% yield.
Is that close to the metro? Outside a bit more.
It's probably about 20 minutes away from the CBD, Hobart CBD. However, great suburbs like Moona, which 10-minute drive from the Hobart city. You could get a house for 700 grand, and that house would rent any day of the week for $675 to $750 a week.
Would you say anything that's around 20 minutes or further outside of the metro, the prices start dropping a fair bit more, but the rental yield increases compared to something that's 20 minutes in towards the CBD?
Not really.
Okay.
Not really. Surprisingly, I think given how small it is, Hobart. Traffic isn't a big parameter, but what people are looking for is where are my friends live? Where's everything that I need on a day-to-day basis? Where's the major shopping centres? Where's the good schools for kids? And you'll find that people base their lives around that.
Okay. So let's talk about some suburbs, right? So I have clients that bought in Glenorchy. I've had clients that bought in Davenport. I've had clients that bought in Launceston the last 3 months. Right. Look, obviously Glenorchy and the other two are a bit more different locations.
So Glenorchy is 15 minutes from Hobart CBD. It's about 7-8 k's away. East Davenport is up the top of Tasmania, outside of Hobart. Still good, smaller population,
good yield,
roughly about 50,000 population. But you'll get a 5-6% yield there.
That's crazy,
without a problem.
That's crazy, right?
And then yield. Similar in Launceston as well. Where you've got great suburbs like West Launceston, Invermay, and 1 or 2 others. You're also getting pretty good yields there. I think I saw a deal the other day where you could get 7.5% yield in
7.5.
Yeah, in Launceston.
Launceston, what house in Granny?
Just a house.
Just a house.
Just a house.
No.
Location left a little bit to be desired.
Yep.
But 7.5%
But that's
yield
good.
was
But that's
there.
good. That's a good yield play. But
Yeah.
if people need the yield, you have to get outside a bit more. You're not going to get
Certainly.
the yield in metro.
No, you're
Right?
not. You're
Right.
not.
So, mate, listen, now's not a secret that Tasmania is the next hotspot. I think it's the next hotspot. I think it's the next probably next place going to pump in next what?
Let's
6
call
months?
it. Let's call it 12 months. Give
6
ourselves a
12 months?
bit
So
of room.
that's going to start peaking.
But it's
right?
already starting, right? Like
I
I
reckon
mean,
it's already started.
yeah. So let's talk about Glenorchy, right?
Yep.
Glenorchy, as of when I last looked at it, which was earlier this morning,
Mm-hmm.
you could still get a full freestanding house on 600 square meters of land
Mm-hmm.
and get a 5% yield. It has a rental vacancy of under 1%.
Mm-hmm.
If you went through the rental listings on Glenorchy right now, you would see that there were 2 houses for rent
Yep.
in a suburb where there are over 10,000 dwellings.
Yep. Yep. So would you say majority of them are owner occupiers then or not?
No, the renter to owner ratio in Glenorchy is actually 45%.
Really?
So it is on the higher side of things.
Wow.
But there is enough market saturation. There are enough people looking for a place to rent.
Yep.
And not enough stock. And if you go back to the core of demand and supply,
Yep.
that is exactly what drives prices and rents up.
Yeah. So what sort of data are you seeing that's driving up the prices in Glenorchy right now?
There
Give me a few key points, right? I don't want to drill down on your whole spreadsheet or the variables that you...
Why, Tony? Get too bored? Hey?
Right? Too much information, but just give me some of the main key points why Glenorchy attracted you 6 months ago.
Yeah,
6 months ago? No, not 6 months ago.
Yeah, about 4 months ago.
4 months ago, right? Yeah, okay. Tell me.
So Glenorchy, first of all, very diverse migrant population and growing.
Yep.
Big economic split.
And your data will actually show that? Or,
Yep.
or-
Yeah, I mean,
yeah?
ABS data shows
Okay.
that from 2021.
Okay. Fair
And,
enough.
and if you go back,
Yep.
it'll be interesting to see what 2026 shows.
Mm-hmm.
I went down there personally and I saw that great economic and cultural diversity.
Mm-hmm.
Secondly, very core centre in Hobart.
Mm-hmm.
It's got 2 shopping centres there. You've got your Coles, you've got Kmart, you've got Big W, you've got everything you need, your Bunnings.
Yeah, so like Parramatta.
The whole lot.
Like Parramatta, mate.
Like Parramatta. There you
Hey?
go, all Blacktown, right? You've got everything you need there. And most houses, or all of the housing stock, is essentially a under 20-minute drive
Yep.
into Hobart CBD,
Yeah, that's crazy.
right?
That's
now,
crazy.
you think about your local bus drivers, your healthcare workers, your real estate receptionists, anybody who lives in Hobart and wants to rent,
Yep.
right? You want to be close to work.
Yep.
You want to be safe, and you want to be close to all the educational centres, all the shopping amenities that you need, and you've got it all there in Glenorchy.
So is there much dwellings getting built there, mate, or no?
No, it's landlocked.
It's landlocked. Okay.
It's landlocked. So
So,
you're
so
not-
if the population's increasing there and it's landlocked, that means
You've got 10,000 dwellings. You've got 10,000 dwellings today. You'll probably have 10,200 dwellings in a couple of years from now.
so let me ask you, do you know what the median salary is around that area? Called a Metro Hobart.
Yep, I think off the top of my head, it's the median household income in that Glenorchy area from the 2021 census. So
Yep.
the data is a bit outdated. Is sitting at about 75,000.
So pop it up to another 10-15% on that top of that then, right?
Yeah.
So you're looking around 85 Gs.
Yeah.
Even close to 90. So if you've got a household income of 90 Gs each, okay, as a couple, is that what you're saying? As a couple, 90
Yeah.
Gs each, right? It's 180.
I think that would probably be on the higher side for Glenorchy.
Okay.
But what you'll probably have is, a husband who works full time making 90 and a wife who may work part time doing 30 or 40.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
So then you have a sort of combined household income of $130,000, $140,000.
Yep.
And these people are paying anywhere between $550 to $650 a week in rent.
Yep. And that what's the average house prices around there?
Currently, the median is sitting at $587,000.
Right. So it's less than, so it's around 3.5 times your income. So what's Sydney, mate?
Oh, mate, where do you want to go?
Right. So if the average income in Sydney is around 90 grand.
Well, in Bondi, right, it takes the average person 92 years
Yeah.
to own their home.
Yeah. Well, there you go.
On an average salary.
Right.
In Glenorchy, it's sitting at about 30.
Yeah. Right. So that's where when your net disposable income is higher than your repayments or your debt that you have to service the loan for, you can actually drive up the prices a little bit more and pay a little bit extra. Right. And that's where
There's room to grow.
yeah, and
There's
that's how house prices actually grow faster and faster and faster because they got net disposable income. Do you know what? I still got around an extra, call it $3,000 savings after all my expenses, after paying the mortgage, whatever. if I was to go for that loan, I got an extra $3,000. But do you know what? I like that house better. I can pay a little bit more because I got that extra $3,000. Depends what income per month. So therefore, I can drive up the price even more. And that's what's been happening, right? That's actually what's been happening.
So there's that from an owner-occupier standpoint.
Yep.
There's also the second bit of investors are looking around the country, they're chasing yield.
Yep.
Right? Sure, they're chasing capital growth, but that comes at a cost of yield.
Mm-hmm.
And so you can go to Melbourne today and buy in a blue chip suburb and get 2% yield.
Yep.
Or you can buy in, Bella Vista in Sydney and get yourself a 1.6% yield.
Yep.
Right? But most people will need that cash flow.
Yep.
And so when you're looking for cash flow, sooner or later you need that cash flow. And so when you look around the country right now,
mm-hmm.
there's very few places with a metropolitan city centre
mm-hmm.
or a state capital where you're going to get 5% yield from a fully detached house.
Yep.
The only other place I can think of, and that's also becoming harder day by day, is Townsville.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
And Townsville has had a metaphorical rise over the last 2.5 years.
Townsville's cool.
You can still get in some of the, questionable suburbs,
Yep.
a 5.5% yield.
Yep.
But in Hobart, it's sitting there looking at you run in front of the face all day, every day.
So what are you seeing the next 6 to 12 months in Hobart? Tell me.
I think the next 6 to 12 months in Hobart will see us crack the 600 grand median, maybe even 620. What we're definitely seeing is...
So you're telling me the median house price there right now is between 5 to 550?
No, it's 587 in
587? And you reckon it's going to go up to how much?
620.
Right?
In the next 12 months.
In the next 12 months. So you're seeing at least, what, 8%?
8%, yeah.
8% rise, yeah? Which is not bad.
Not bad. The crazy thing we're currently seeing in Glenorchy is that houses are getting sold in hours. Right, where
I'm seeing that.
Melbourne, in Geelong, they're getting sold in days. Agents are fishing for higher and higher offers. The reality is in Glenorchy, you could list the house at 4 p.m. on a Friday and it'd be gone by 9 a.m. the next morning.
Yep. So you just bought in Hobart, right? So we're not going to go into full details yet.
We can.
No, we're going. No, that's for another day. But I've been hearing you talking with agents a lot on the phone. And normally what I believe, and I've said it many times, is buyer's agents are the people that's always driving up the prices in certain locations because they're all flocking to the same location, following each other's asses, right? And just recommending areas that other buyer's agents are recommending. Okay.
Yeah.
And you told me something recently about real estate agents in Hobart don't really like working with buyer's agents that much and they prefer to work with consumers more. Is that correct?
Yeah, I think they're just honest, down-to-earth folks. They're surprisingly not trying to chase the biggest dollar, but they always want to do what's fair by their vendor.
Of course.
So, example story, there was a very nice brick house in Glenorchy I was looking at, and, it was going for about 600 grand, and I placed an offer for not far off 600 grand.
Yep.
But I was advised by the real estate agent that it had been sold the night prior.
Yep.
And so when I was down in Hobart, I met up with the real estate agent, shook his hand and said, hey, who ended up buying it? Turns out it was a buyer's agent I knew. And that buyer's agent saw the opportunity in Glenorchy, had been listening maybe to some of our stuff.
I reckon he has.
Purchased the property there on behalf of his clients.
Yep.
And I messaged him the other day and I said, congratulations. And he said, yeah, thanks. So Glenorchy is on the up and up. The buyer's agents have started to turn their heads towards it, which is okay. Look, once we're already in, once our clients are in,
for our clients, right? Because we had our clients in before it's even boomed up. That's what we want.
Exactly, right? And so now we just sit back, collect the rent, and relax. And remember, at 5 or 5.5% yield, on a loan-only basis, you're probably neutrally geared.
Yep.
Or very close to it.
Fantastic, right? So Glenorchy, in other areas in Tassie that you're looking at, mate?
Yeah, so I think that whole strip around Glenorchy, so Glenorchy, Berrydale, Claremont, Chigwell, all of those properties there present amazing value.
Yep.
And then if you jump on the other side of the bridge, there are suburbs like Howrah, Rokeby, and Risdon Vale, which houses the maximum security prison.
Yeah.
Also presenting great value. I think it's for most of Hobart, it's time to shine.
What about the yield play? Where are you going to go for yield play?
Where am I going to go for yield play?
Yep, in Tassie.
I think Glenorchy is probably the safest bet for yield play, given it's a proximity centre.
Yep.
You're getting 5 to 5.5% yields there. The reality is, by the time we're making this podcast and you guys watch this, you'll have to work for your deals.
Yeah.
And so, you just mentioned I bought a property myself.
Yep.
That's through a relationship with an existing agent.
And you
Me
bought
and him are speaking.
you bought that off market, didn't you?
Correct.
So guys, see that? He bought that off market, right? So not only buyer's agents can buy property off market. I say that so many times. When a market is extremely hot, the agent have a list of buyer's agents and clients they can work off in driving up the prices. Not only buyer's agents have that exclusive access as what they think they do.
Yeah, I mean,
Right.
some may consider me to be, you know, some sort of a property insider.
Yep.
But I mean, as an alternative, Tony, my brother just bought off market in Sydney,
I know.
right? And my brother's got no property experience whatsoever.
Yeah.
It all comes down to the rapport you build with agents, how persistent you are in building that relationship with them, so that when they walk out of an appraisal with a vendor or a potential seller, the first person they're calling is you.
Yeah, and there's always the agent always has a list of people they're gonna call.
Exactly.
Doesn't matter. Like I don't care what people say. They always have that database to work off, right? Don't think you're going to sign up to a buyer's agent. You think you're going to get good market. Don't think you're going to sign up to a buyer's agent. You're going to get good value off market sales, right? Because they're off market for a bloody reason, right? You're going to pay overprice, right? And buyer's agents are only there to close a deal.
100%.
Right? They're there to close a deal, right? If you build good rapport, like what Sean just did, talk to the agent, be nice, right? Mate, they'll put you on a database and you might get an option.
You may be the first person they call, right?
Exactly, right? So Sean, thanks for your insight today, buddy.
Pleasure's mine, my man.
So there you have it, everyone. Thanks for joining me on another episode of the Mortgage Chat. In the next few months, Sean's going to come back in again and talk about the next few suburbs that we're going to look at. Stay in tune. We do also have a lot more videos on our YouTube channel, how to grow wealth, how to use equity, how to use a trust structure, how to build a solid foundation if you want to be an investor and build that property portfolio. As always, thanks for joining me and I'll see you next time.